So breaking news, President Trump, there's another assassination attempt again this afternoon. This happened apparently over at his Florida golf course. This happened a little bit earlier, Sunday afternoon, sometime before the 2 p.m. Eastern hour. Apparently, Trump is fine. Trump is in good spirits. According to Senator Lindsey Graham, he released an email saying that he is safe and well. Quote, "There were gunshots in my vicinity, but before rumors start spiraling out of control, I want you to hear this first. I am safe and well." According to the email, "Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender. I will always love you for supporting me." Apparently, a suspect, this is according to CNN, who authorities believe is connected to Sunday's incident at Trump International Golf Course, has been taken into custody at this point. A vehicle was stopped. An intersection, a section of the Interstate 95 near State Route 714 in Martin County is shut down. Apparently, the allegation was that somebody actually climbed over the wall at the golf club, and a long gun was recovered at the scene. Secret Service apparently did return fire. The Secret Service said it was working with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office to investigate a protective incident involving former President Donald Trump. Again, the campaign has said that he is safe. So that's all we know at this point. We don't know the identity of the shooter. We don't know exactly what gun was used. We don't know anything like that. There are a lot of rumors floating around. And until all of that is confirmed, I really don't want to actually say what it was that happened. The one thing that we do know, apparently, is that the shooter was targeting President Trump. This makes the second assassination attempt against the former president of the United States and Republican nominee for president in about 8 weeks, which is insane, obviously. This is unprecedented in modern American history, this many attempts on a candidate for higher office this close together. And that does say something about the environment in which we now live. First of all, it says, does anyone even remember the first assassination attempt? I mean, those of us who are on the right do, because it's become sort of an iconic video and photo. President Trump nearly being hit in the head by a bullet, somebody behind him being killed, him getting up and shaking his fist and saying, "Fight." That became an iconic photo of President Trump. But it's been largely memory hold by the media. In the debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, it was not even mentioned once by the moderators anytime in that debate. It's basically been treated as though it never happened. Now, we all know that if somebody had attempted to shoot Joe Biden in the head, that would have been not only the biggest story in America that day, but for all the other days, because January 6th has now lasted for 4 long years. If somebody had actually come within millimeters of killing President Biden, then presumably that would have been the biggest story in America for months on end. It would have deeply and dramatically shaped the 2024 election. The same thing holds true if, God forbid, somebody had attempted to shoot, say, Kamala Harris. This would be the second time in 8 weeks that somebody tried to shoot Donald Trump. And again, this will be buried by Wednesday. How long do you think this story is actually going to last? Now, they say we still don't know the motive of the original shooter. It seems to me the motive was pretty clear, that he wanted to shoot Donald Trump in the head. But there's all sorts of mysterious circumstances surrounding the original shooter. Who was he? We know his identity. We don't know much about his motive. He apparently had encrypted phones and all the rest. It's all very mysterious and all very weird. We don't know anything about this shooter as of yet. We do know that there were foreign sources attempting to create the conditions for the assassination of President Trump, particularly Iran. There were open reports by the FBI and the CIA that the Iranians were attempting to facilitate the murder of President Trump. So it wouldn't be a total tremendous shock if it turns out that somebody had taken them up on that offer. Again, this is all speculative. There's no way to know at this point. The one thing that we do know, again, is that if the situation were reversed, it would be the center of the news for the foreseeable future. Why? Because the entire narrative would be that the right had polarized American politics to the extent that it was now considered within the norm to take a shot at a president of the United States or a presidential candidate from the other party. So the shoe is on the other foot now. How is it that the entire Democratic Party can center on the idea that Donald Trump is Orange Hitler, that he's the worst person who has ever lived, he's the worst person in the universe, a danger, a threat to American democracy? 2 separate people attempt to shoot him 2 separate times within 8 weeks. And that has nothing to do with the climate in the country. Again, I'm not blaming any of the people who say these sorts of things for the actual shooting. The person who's responsible is the shooter. It also happens to be the case, however, that in a really volatile climate, if you continue to increase the temperature, if you continue over and over to increase that temperature, you are going to get worse and worse situations. Raising that temperature does, in fact, become a sin when you know that things are this bad. And so it behooves everybody on the left side of the aisle to take down the temperature a few notches, to stop pretending that Donald Trump is a grave threat to the Republic. And by the way, they don't even believe that. Last week, Joe Biden put on a MAGA hat. He put on a Trump 2024 hat. Would he do that if he actually thought that the Trump 2024 hat were the equivalent of a swastika? Of course he would not. Would he really do that if he thought that Donald Trump was going to facilitate a tyrannical takeover of the country and end our democracy? Of course not. It's all nonsense. It's all been done for political gain. So again, we don't have all the details at this point. We're still awaiting more details. We'll bring them to you as we get them. Obviously, we'll be here updating you throughout the evening if anything of real magnitude breaks. But the president, former president, is fine, thank God. Second assassination attempt in 8 weeks. Huge news. We'll have much more on that on the show tomorrow, obviously.